Let's learn how to tune the guitar to a tuner today. So, being in tune is obviously very important, especially if we're playing with other musicians. Now, we can tune the guitar to itself, as we'll do later on, but tuning to a tuner is great because it's a benchmark. And if everybody tunes to a tuner, especially if it's optimized in the same way, which most tuners are tuned to what we call 440. We may learn about that more later. Right now, just suffice to say that's the standard, and that's what an A is. And so if your buddy has a tuner that's tuned to 440 and you have a tuner that's tuned to 440 and you both tune separately with your tuners, then you should be in tune when you play. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some basics on how to do this today and how to stay in tune using a technique that I'm going to show you here. Okay, so what we have here is, what I'm using here today is a tuner that works on vibration. So there are those that work on vibration, some that work on sound. These clip-on types are great because you can be in a venue, you could be getting ready to go on stage, a lot of people talking, music playing, what have you, and it's not going to interrupt it because it's just listening, if you will, to the vibration. It's feeling the vibration, and that's how it's telling you whether you're in tune or not. Okay, so remember, we know the names of the open strings. It's E, A, D, G, B, E. Remember, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Now, if you have a tuner like mine, some of them will have some letters at the bottom that might say like C, V, G, U, B. That's like chromatic, bass, violin, ukulele, guitar, etc. Sometimes it's not like that. But you either want to have it set on guitar or chromatic. Preferably guitar because it's listening for that specific note, so it's going to be more accurate. Okay, so here we've got a low E string, and you can see when I hit the note, it's saying, do you want an E string? And I'm saying, yes, I do. And this one, just to the left of that, you see that it says 6 also, so we know it's the 6th string. Every tuner is different, so it's really hard to say. You're going to have to get acclimated to your tuner, but suffice to say that they all want to tune something, you know, basically it always wants to go to the middle. We're trying to get this set of lights right in the middle, but we do need to be wary of what note it's asking for. So for instance, if this was set on chromatic and we were hitting this and this was a D that I was playing, then we might tune it up and it would look like it's in tune because the needle's right in the middle, but we're tuning to a D. So you need to make sure that what's showing up here is the actual name of the string. In this case here it's an E because it's an E string. Then we tune. So here notice that that little light there is going up as we go up in pitch. And the idea here is that we want it to not go over. So that's sharp. See where it went in the red there? That's sharp, so we want it to go back a little bit. There's a few tricks to doing that. Number one, you can take your strings and give them a little bit of a stretch. And what that'll do is that will typically pull out any slack that's in this area or over here. Minimal amount of slack, but enough to put it out of tune. And then pick again, and hopefully that will put you where you need to be. And so right there, that's still slightly sharp. So I'm gonna bring it below. And here's the rule. What you want to do is you always want to tune up to a note. So what I did is I just dropped it below, stretched the string. Now I'm going to tune up. And as you're going to see later on, when we're tuning or when we're putting strings on our guitar, it's really important to stretch the strings out, and you always want to tune up to a note. We'll talk more about that later, but for this lesson, just always tune up to the note, never down. Okay? So it looks like our E is slightly sharp, so I'm giving this a little stretch here. Now you can also hit the harmonic. We'll learn more about that later, but basically at the 12th fret, just above the fret, you can barely touch your finger there, pluck very hard, and you get that nice chimey type sound. Okay, we'll learn more about that later, but it gives a little bit of a pure tone to the tuner. Okay. So that looks like it's in tune. Let's do the A. Now, one thing that you can do is if you see the note jumping around because it's not hearing it loud enough, you can sit here and constantly pick. going to see it just the same. You know, you don't want to pick too hard, because if you do, there's a phenomenon that happens with a string where it actually goes out of pitch for just a moment, okay? It goes, typically it goes up in pitch and then back down. So there's our D, right? So we did E, A, here's D. And notice our D string is flat, so we need to bring that up to right there. That's where we want to be, okay? Here's G. So our G looks like it's in tune. Good. Here's B. Slightly flat. Most tuners, when you are in tune, it'll light up bigger, or there'll be another light that goes on or something, or it'll turn green, or just something to let you know that you're in tune. Okay? The high E string. Now notice that's sharp, okay? So again, what we want to do is we want to bring it flat, go underneath our note, take your hand, just give it a little bit of a tug, right? And pull that string up, straight up. Not too hard, okay? Because you can break strings doing this. I've done it before. But they do need to be stretched. Now all the slack is taken out. Now I can tune up to that note. And now we're good. So now we're pretty much in tune. Usually when you use a tuner like this, you're going to get very close, and then what you want to do is you want to do some adjustments with chords, etc. As you get to playing more and you get to be a better player and you're more tuned to the guitar, like your mind, your body, your soul, everything, you're like, that doesn't quite sound right. And this is going to happen as you get to playing more, and you're going to use chords, maybe scales, or some other ways to tune also. And between those two things, or two or three different methods, you'll really be able to refine the tuning of your guitar. But we really want to learn to use a tuner to start, and then we'll go on to some of the other methods of tuning the guitar. So your takeaway from this, your practice, is to take your guitar, tune it to the best of your ability. You really want to be fine-tuned. You want to get that arrow, or that needle right in the middle, okay? Don't kind of get it there. Get it there, because even when you are really trying to stay in tune, there's little subtleties, like the way you press the strings and what have you, that will keep the guitar from sounding perfectly in tune. And these are things that guitarists have to contend with. That's okay. But if you make sure that your guitar is tuned to start off really well, you're going to run into less of those problems. And as you mature as a player, you're going to be able to refine the other ones out as well. All right, my friends, let's keep going.